Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So new Majespecter support. Who would have expected this one? Let's take a look. 4 new cards. They got a new spell, quick play spell, which is basically a hero lives and the monster reborn. I mean, it could special summon the Majespecter monster from hand. 3 off, I feel. Searchable off of Crow, I think the name is the spell searcher. Another new one is this one. I'm not going to butcher its name. It's a level 4, it's an extender. Very similar to Curtain Raiser, if that makes sense, or Kage to Kage. So, you know, basically it special summons itself from the hand. It's a quick effect. So you can use it during your opponent's turn, and when it's summoned, you can get back a spell from your graveyard and reset it. So again, fantastic, because it also works during your opponent's turn. Plus, it's another Pendulum monster for Electromite 2.0. Majespecter also got like an Electromite-alike card, and this is Copium. Eventually I added in Eagle Booster as well to the main deck, because I think the biggest weakness of this deck is the Link. The Link does not have any form of built-in protection, so it can be targeted. It's, I mean, Imperm, Veiler, etc. So something like Eagle Booster, I guess is okay, simply because if your Link goes, you know, if the effect goes through unharmed or unhindered, you pretty much win the game. That's how strong it is. It's like, upon Link summon, you can target up to 2 Majespecters from your extra deck, add them back to the hand, and then target up to 2 different Majespecters from the deck, send them to your extra deck. So it's very similar to Electromite, but again, much more crazy if you think about it. So, I mean, the deck works pretty much the same. They also got a new Exceed, rank 4 Exceed, so, you know, just 2 level 4 monsters. As soon as you tribute, like, let's say a Wind Spellcaster, I think, you know, basically a Majespecter monster that includes the Link, you can detach to hero lifts another Majespecter from the deck. That's fantastic, since you can do that up to, you know, twice per turn, as long as, you know, your Exceed has materials. So, you know, that's how strong the deck is. Going first, it's, I mean, you'll see the weaknesses. Again, the choke point here is the Link. Imagine your Link getting impermed. You're most of the time stuck, and that's one of the reasons why I might look for maybe other engines. I know people already mentioned Super Heavy Samurai, or at least any other one-card engine that puts up a Pendulum scale. Maybe that's an option. Thing is that the thing with the deck is you want to have space for hand traps. Another choke point, weak point is that, as you see here now, you know, 2 of your zones are, I mean, you know, it's basically the same for every Pendulum deck. Both of the, you know, the outer zones are occupied by the Pendulum monster, so they cannot be used. So you only have 3 zones to work with, and the middle one here, I guess most of the time is used for that quick play spell. So I guess you only have 2 interruptions without hand traps, right? So most of the time the 2 traps are the spell that, what is it, pops one of your monsters and pops an opponent's monster. But again, that's not too strong. But again, it's a super annoying deck, especially because of Secret Village. The thing now here is that the Nip prevents me from using my spells, because again, no spellcaster, but luckily I do also play Nip, because the deck can play under Nip. As in, imagine your opponent, you know, playing through your board, you can Nip, and then after that, like let's say if you have, I mean, I don't know, maybe an extender, you can go for your quick play spell, you know, reborn something that puts a Majespecter on board, maybe reborning Bumbuku or whatever, and that searches the new one, the level 4. The level 4 can quick play, you know, quick effect itself to the field. So that's again 2 Majespecters on field for the potential traps or spells, right, to be tributed. So like before, Majespecters couldn't really recover if your opponent was able to deal with your monsters. But now the quick play spell lets you, you know, keep like a healthy amount of monsters on field, and that's something I definitely like. So the crossroad is not an option here. Oh, I guess that's another weak point, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Majespecters have any form of spell on trap destruction. Like all of them, like the trap is, what is it, Karma Cut for monsters. They have the quick play spell here left in the hand that only hits again monsters. The other spells also hit monsters, so that's kind of awkward, right? They don't have really anything that hits back row. So imagine them getting maybe a Mystical Space Typhoon-alike card. That would be nice. Yeah, more than enough. Okay, yeah, another thing here, and that's why the deck is so annoying, even though again it has some choke points, is the fact that it can search Secret Village, you know, with the Majespecter, the Majespecter 2 Draco card. Just fine as a one-off, simply because again you can send it to your extra deck, like for example here with your Electromite 2.0. set on my scale, like here, like hardly any follow-up play. Again, if the opponent is able to stop the link from triggering, Veiler, Imperm. Again, it's very hard to recover from this. I mean, Secret Village is there. I guess maybe slow down the opponent a little bit, but still right, you know what I mean. So get up the Exceeds, then, you know, thanks to the field spell, I can start tributing my own monsters that special summon something from the deck, plus, you know, your your Exceed triggers, special summoning another thing from the deck. So it's kind of crazy on how fast this deck builds up advantage throughout turn number 1 and turn number 2, especially if you start. So I could see, and I mean, the biggest thing here, I guess, for the deck is Unicorn. So imagine Unicorn returning. It might return, actually. I think the OCG announced their OCG ban list. It's going to be announced, what is it, September 21st? 22nd? Somewhere next week or 2 weeks. So that's no coincidence. And I think one of the quick play spell, like the hero lists, also, what does it say? Like, you can special summon level 6 or lower. What is it? Spellcaster Wind, or Wind Spellcaster. So I think basically Unicorn as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, I mean, obviously it's probably going to return. Like, imagine like Unicorn in this deck. Kind of sick. Kind of sick. I mean, it gives the deck more interruptions, and it kind of gives the deck at least 3 interruptions, as I've mentioned before. Like, you know, the middle one is probably going to be occupied by the Reborn spell, the quick play spell. Then the 2 Pendulum zones are occupied by Pendulum monsters, and then 2 free spell and trap card zones for the traps, probably. And then, let's say, a Majespecter Unicorn on field, maybe Veiler or an Ash in hand. That's strong. 4 spells, at least 4 interruptions, or maybe even more. The problems. First of all, going second. Going second, you know, dealing with like an established board, playing through hand traps and negations on field. That's, of course, for this kind of deck, hard. Because your opponent could, like, get rid of your normal summon. And that would make it much harder to, you know, at least for you to set up your blink, right? And the thing is that, again, if there's any form of interruption on your link, it's very hard for the deck to come back after that, simply because, again, setting up your scales after you invested resources for a link too, like imagine here, no Imperm is probably game over for me, at least GG for me, but that's not the case. So I'm not able to set up my scale, get off a huge monster reborn, at least, yeah, Pendulum summon, etc. And I was able to prevent the Calamity from coming out in the previous turn. I do use Veiler, but here in this case it's not going to matter too much. I try to set up for next turn. Maybe a Saki Rescue. I probably should have played it a little bit better. Now that I think of it, like, just, you know, just let them attack. Because now I use my trap, and I should have kept it for Calamity next turn. Like, imagine my next draw, I think, is a high scale, yeah, and a low scale, yeah, but Muku is your high scale. Like, imagine here, I would have been able to, you know, prevent Calamity from coming out. The problem is, like, what would have been my place after that? I don't think I had any place left. Imagine, I can drop that, yeah, search. I don't think there was anything possible. And now it's just spiraling downwards. So that's still a problem, I feel. So yeah, maybe 1 card scales. Yeah, I might try it out, but I need more space in the main deck. Do I want to drop hand traps? Maybe cut a little on the Majespecter cards, monsters. Maybe a little less. You know, that might free some, you know, main space, at least some space in the main deck. So it is what it is. Again, go first. The thing now with the new support is that the deck got like a 1-card combo. Like, normal summon Crow is basically full combo, you know, if it goes uninterrupted on your link. So get Impermed, that's okay, because Bombuku was able to search Bombuku to make sure that I had a scale. Yep, that's okay. I think 2 level 4, yeah, both Crow and the new one, that's the Exceed. And I don't think I'm able to tribute something. So only 2 interruptions. I can Veiler the Menadium level 4. I can Ash eventually the small Menadium special summon, so that's all fine, but getting thrusted. So that's indeed a field spell search. Problem here is that I don't think I have any interruptions left, so now my main goal is to survive. Okay, yeah, something that I guess is cool as well is that the Exceed is kind of similar to the Majespecter True Draco one that can pop something. It can put itself into a scale, so that's also okay. So tribute away my link, again that triggers, it gets a search, setting Mega Spell, not the best. Because I mean, obviously, you know, Vanadium is just going to put a Baron and pop it, right? So I'm not so sure if I could have made other plays. I think so. Yeah, I think so, because again, Bumbuku can search something, potentially setting up my scale for next turn. Problem is, again, I can, at least I have to battle it out at least against one negation and potentially interruptions after this, so that's a big deal. So Apo hits the field, and yeah, more monster negations. I'm not going to battle it out against this one. So stuff like maybe Dark Ruler power spells has been through my mind, has gone through my mind, so that might be an option. Talents is okay, but again, I mean, it's just getting negated, right, by the one-off negation. A weaker Pendulum Summon, Bumbuku is getting negated. But again, like, what can I do here? I probably should, you know, play like the, what is it, the standard extra deck monsters, Little Knight, and the other one, Doom, you know, the new Zeus-alike monster. Yeah, actually I should do that. Like, the extra deck is, I mean, some cards are filler basically, but I should probably name those as well. So feel free, right? So this game is pretty much over. So the new Majespecter support definitely solved. It's super annoying. It's not going to be your next top tier contender simply because it's pendulums. You know, setting up the scales, etc. And more so stuff like Dimensional Barrier. The choke point is the link. So maybe other engines, sub-engines, something to protect the link. So again, feel free, you know, to leave suggestions for this one. But like, nonetheless, going first is mind-blowingly strong and consistent as well. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Big game sign out. Peace.